Okay. So now you can see it's emitting the entire box. It's a by default rectangle. It's a square shape plane, and it's emitting the entire, illuminating the entire that rectangular plane. Right. So because the material is by default like flat material with glowing effect. But what if I want to keep it round, only round? There is, you can see there is a radial gradient exponential parameter is there already. Right click. Radial, you can see there is option radial gradient exponential. Is basically radial gradient means it's literal, like it's a gradient in radial direction, right? Radial
Uh,
gradient. So everything is literal. So click on this. It will generate this radial gradient and connect this to opacity.
was-
So what it will do, it will convert this into a circle. It will create an alpha. Basically, it will create an alpha and make this this pattern as a round circle. Now you can see I haven't done anything. Just generated this and connected this. Nothing else. Just straightforward radial gradient, or you can apply alpha if you want. So you can apply alpha also. That also works perfectly. But this is already like preset already there in Unreal. So you can just simply directly drag drop and use it. That will give you better result, and it is not that heavy on your system. Save it. With saving. Because anything you want you update here, you have to save it to see the change in your actual, like wherever you are applying it. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the preview. Next time, to save the material.
still like takes a lot of.
This top part become like you can see transparent.
Uh,
Now, if we go here, you can see they become round. Previously, it was all square. Now it's all round. So now we have this, and now we have this by default. You can see we have a lifetime where we define the lifetime of each particle. Like till what time it will stay in your scene. Right now you can see it generates and it vanishes. Right, it's generating and vanishing. So I want to increase this 5, 5, so that it stays in my scene for a longer period. Like straightforward lifetime of that particle. That till what time it will stay for 5 as in 5 seconds. Right. So you can see
yes.
now it's going really far. Then initial size you have. Initial size is basically the entire size region where it's going to generate. So right, you can see by default it's 25, 25, 25. Size of this is like way too big. I can reduce to like 5 and maybe 2, 5, just to like uneven. Like I'm just making it different shapes just to have more variation. You can see gradually some are big, some are small, because that
Because
randomization
it's like
is required.
this is like for size of individual particle.
Yes, the
Yes.
size of the particle.
Hmm.
So X, Y, Z
Okay.
direction, I can make it 5, 5, 5. I can make it 3, 3, 3. So it's like a small or maybe 1, 1, 2, 2, depending upon the requirement of your size. Maybe you're creating some big dust or something, or maybe some leaf. Suppose instead of this, you want a leaf. So you can just
Okay.
replace this texture with a leaf texture,
Picture the
right? So it will become a leaf. Then lifetime, then you have size, then we have initial velocity. Velocity is basically speed, right? Initial velocity. So how much speed you really want for this? So by default, you can see 10, 10, 100, -10, -10, 50. So this is something you can change because this is like way too fast. If you want to make it really slow, so what I'll do, I'll just change to like maybe 5, slow, maybe 5, like slowly moving, -10, -10, or this is also -10. So it spreads in all direction, minus, 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 plus, plus, plus. Or I can make it -5, -5, -5 also. So it becomes kind of, it gives you a round shape, velocity, speed. So the bottom side, you have like XYZ minus, you have minus more value. So I can just simply convert this to 10, 10, 10. This will give you more even spreaded, yeah, in all directions. You can increase, decrease based on your requirement. You can, if you want to increase or if you want to decrease, you can definitely do that very easily. Like even if you think the size like is still too big, 2, 2, 2, right? 2 and 3. So like you have very decent amount of size. You can do that. But this is like I need more variation, so I can just simply convert this to 5, 5, like 3, 5, and 2. So that gives me more variation. So you can just play with this and find the sweet spot, like whatever you want, like big particles, small particles, like that. You can control this thing very easily. This is literally size, velocity, and color. Overall life is color. Overall life is like suppose you want to modify the color, so then you can use it, but it's something not required for my particles. Now, I can simply right click, delete it. Now, what I want like my initial like seed. Seed means number of this thing. What do you call it? Location and all those things, like number of particles it will generate. So seed is basically number of amount of your generated
amount of particles.
Yes, particles. So start location is see how many you want. By default it's 000. So I can make it like 500. I was spreading. This is like location. It's location seed. Like location basically defining the area. That dimension of this spread. So it's spreading all over the screen, like spread out, right? So I can do minimum maximum also if I want. I can like add some value here, 100, 100,
So it's like giving range of coordinates from where these particles.
Yes, from where it's going to generate and how it's going to spread.
Oh.
So this is center point is my actual emitting area, but it's spreading on left side. If I want, I can add some value in minus also. If I want minus plus, I can do those things as well. So that's the total. This is like look, it's just giving you location. But this is like you're moving in left, right, oscillating left, right, and all. But what if I want some rotation? Like because fireflies or all these particles are very random, right? There is no random. They randomly move in all the directions. So I need a rotation then. So you can see right click. You have a rotation option here. Initial rotation. Select this. Start distribution. So you can just modify this distribution and you can see by default 0 and 1. So I can change it to maybe 10. Now it will rotate in all the directions. So you can see it's not in now it won't be in straight line. Previously it was moving in all straight line, left, right, or whatever direction, straight line. Now it will move in different directions. I just see the size is too big. Now it's fine, na? Too big, too small, or maybe you can change this to 1. Like I just want like little bit more variation, like some big, some small. Yeah. You can see it's twinkling. This effect is there, and now I can just simply directly use this, but like I can modify the, you can see I have so many options. I can control my size, spawn area. I can like set a this thing. What do you call it? 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 I forgot the name. Mm, sorry, I forgot the option. Where do you set the shape? Huh. Location, under location, you can set a cylinder, you can set a sphere, triangle, so it will move within that shape, basically. So,
Okay.
or you can just simply keep it like this. Like a sphere is basically in a spherical shape, it will move. So if I want to keep, I can place it here and add some coordinates to this. By default, it's kind of fine. It basically moves now. It will move in a sphere. If this is not mandatory, I can delete it, and this, without this also I can use it. So right now I'm using this emitting light. Save it and go back here. You can see this is my firefly emitter. This is our material. This is my particle. Drag, drop in my scene, place it. Okay, let's leave the older one, and you can see it started to generate those particles. Right, you can see all this. So now let's show you the function of instance. The instance is created, right? So let's keep it here and pick up this and go to my scene, and let's pick up this. So now you can see I have the instance. If I switch it off, it becomes slightly glowing white to yellow, this thing. If I switch it on, it gives me this.
Emission.
I can increase, decrease in real time in my scene. In real time, I can modify it. This is the like benefit of instances. Instance is basically the same material, but it gives you control all any parameter you have your scene. You can just modify them directly into your instance without affecting your actual material. So this, or whatever you're modifying, it's part of your instance, not part of your actual material. If you scroll down, you can see there's a parent. Under that parent, you have that actual material. This is a parent material. This is instance material. So I can modify this thing and create all this glow effect or whatever I want. So I can like increase the count. I can reduce decrease the count. I can do all those sort of things, modify and create it. So let's do like maybe create a glowing slightly 70. 70 was too much. Was also too much. I want a slight subtle glow. So like this, I can modify this thing. So this is like instance also we can create. We can modify with that, or we can just go to our main material and modify. And particles, like you can see, particle is very simple. But this is a simple particle. Particle can be really complex depending upon what you want to create. So like certainly see Unreal move very literal. Whatever their name is, that exact function they do. The function is exactly the same. So you can create those things very easily, like very simple. And plus, there are like a lot of different materials and functions are there. I'll show you. There is a this rock. I'll show. Okay, it's quite heavy. This material is quite heavy. Loading, load. Okay, loading. Okay. Takes a lot of time. This material is like pretty heavy because this is like a huge complex network and huge complex calculation is there. That's why it's a bit heavy. Oh, this time. Okay, let's place it here. I'll show you the effect. So you can see I place it here. So as you can see, all the snow is generating on the top side, right? But if I rotate the this thing, you can see snow position is always your z direction, y direction, no matter what you do.
Uh,
It's a direction material. I can use it with snow. I can use it with moss because moss also generates on the top.
uh,
So I can use it with moss. We can use it with the snow. So this is if I show you the material, it's a quite a complex material.
so,
So we can create this thing. It just we need to. This is like initially might seem might look it's really complex, but it's not that complex if you understand the process. Like albedo is your color, roughness is your roughness, and how to blend two materials together, how normal works, and how to blend two different materials together. So all those things, and there's a world position. You can see the world displacement is there, and how it is working, and this is like how this direction snow works based on a normal direction. B is basically blue.
so this is the part that they keep the snow on the axis.
Yes, yes. This is the part where this is the only small function. This is keeping the snow on top always. Here I use a blue mask and mask blue RGB. You can see blue is basically your. You can see blue is your Z,
That
right? So red is your X, Y is your green. So based on that, blue, and that's why always Z direction, blue direction will be up. That it's snow will be generated there only automatically. So I'll show all these things. So that's why first push your model everything into Unreal. Then based on that I'll explain because you can see Unreal you can do amazing stuff and like lots of stuff in within very small time if you understand the process. And because we have to develop generate everything based on that and like, create things nicely. All displacement maps, nice stuff. All sparkles are separate, all normal. Even if I show this is, you can see, it's not very complex. Only this thing is generated with the help of normal. And there is a emissive color for those sparkling things. The sparkles we can see on the water, those sparkles. That is something we can generate very easily. And plus, if I want to change the color of this material, I can do color of this texture. I can do that within Unreal without going back to my Photoshop or Substance. I can change the color. I can modify things very easily.
within Unreal.
Yes, within Unreal. So within Unreal also, it's color shading. I'll show you one basic setup. Very basic,
Like we can
simple.
actually change color of like specific parts of our model, or like does it do?
We can
Do
change
we
the
have to do with the
specific
whole material?
part of the model. No, we can do the whole material also or a specific part also. For a specific part, suppose for this golden thing, I want to change color. So I need a mask for that. So the
Ah,
mask will be required, right? So for that
that's
mask, I can get it from the blue material channel. Like suppose I'll show you a basic color change thing. Mm, there's a, you see, hue shift. Hue shift. Hue shift is basically hue means color. Color shift, how to change the color. So hue shift percentage, how much percentage you want? Correct a scalar parameter. Color, connect this to hue shift, and default value is 1, means no change. Or maybe 0, you can keep it 0. Then this thing should affect only and only this blue mask. So mask is, you can like select to B and connect this to A. So this is going to affect this blue channel, blue, that the white part only. Now you want to affect the color, then you have to multiply this with your base to connect the color and then connect it here. So now this base color is reading the entire thing. Only the selection, this will impact that selection. You can see it's 1, the gold become green. And it's a parameter, so I can control it. Let's save it. I'll show that. You need basically you need mask for the those particular things, and then you can do it very easily. Let's go back to my material. There is my material instance. And one more thing happened here is rest of the part become black because this is multiplying with this, it's making the rest of the part black. So I don't want that. So what I can do is, instead of linear interpolation, multiply using linear interpolation. This is my A, this is my alpha, and this can be my B. With that, this alpha will affect this, expose B, and this is my base color. So this will act as my, I can connect it here directly. This one is not required anymore. Or maybe I can connect this to directly to B. Linear interpolation basically linearly combine two different textures together. So you can see this is green and base color is correct, same. Because this is changing only this selection. Alpha is this mask. Like whenever I'll explain this properly, like what is a linear interpolation, what is the functions, I'll explain for tomorrow's class. I can explain all these parameters, all these sets, like how to use it and what is the function of them. I'll explain that. So like it's just affecting that selection, that alpha area. If I save this and save content, we have this instance and select this. Instead of applying, I'll apply instance this time, and you can see all the gold become this thing. And double click it, open your instance and keep this thing seen in front of you. You want to digital deselect and click on color. Now you can see you can modify
Okay.
things according to you, whatever color you want. This is just one technique. There are multiple ways to change color. Like there are multiple ways you can change color, you can modify things, you can overlay color, you can add color, you can subtract color. There's so many options are there. So you can modify this, switch off, or maybe make it this and keep 0, or you can make it -1. You can do all those things. So all these things are possible. So like this, you can affect everything and change all colors or all materials. which is like kind of easy, not very complex. And this particle also similar manner, I can use create ambient dust. Make sure there's no glow because ambient dust never glows. I can create. Then this landscape material is also pending. So I'll explain all the parameters one by one and how to use it. What are the functions? Okay. So I'll see you tomorrow. So and I have created the submission folder already. So you can submit your mm, okay, that engine. How to submit your data? That is okay. Nobody is there. Only you are there. So anyways, I explain it to you. Whenever you're submitting, don't submit the entire engine. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. It's way too heavy. It will be 1 GB, 2 GB. So I don't want that. Like make sure keep all your files, all your assets, everything under one folder. Maybe it's your name, maybe it's your project name, maybe it's your level name. Create a folder, place all your materials, all your textures, all your mesh, everything inside that folder. Then go back to go back, select this main parent folder, right click, then go to where is the migrate? There is an option called migrate. Click on this and then create a new folder somewhere in desktop somewhere and then migrate all your data there. It will export only and only this folder, nothing else.
Okay.
I can just simply copy paste into my engine and open your file. It will reduce the file size very because this if I try to export this engine is this entire data is around 70-80 GB, so I cannot upload or transfer it. But right, if I export only this folder, it will be around maybe 100 MB, maximum 100 MB or 50 MB something. So I can export it very easily, and then you can submit it very easily. Try this thing out. Okay. And and I'll see you tomorrow. And I'll explain all those nodes, parameters, and pay very good attention because these are basic. We should know and how to create textures, how to apply textures, how to modify, how to tweak. Because everything we cannot go back again into gaming this substance and all. We can should be able to modify or tweak those things within engine. We'll do that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.